Hello, listeners. Welcome to the first episode of the Project Crusher podcast, titled The Outside Offer, Part 1. We hope you enjoy this episode. My name is Alias Crusher, and I am what you call a splinter. A special kind of individual who goes on secret missions, both in and outside this world. Sadly, we splinters have had it difficult for the past few years. Less and less people want to hire us, which means that we have to take more risks. This led me to a certain businessman who goes by Cranston Lumberjack. Now, as you just heard, it did not end well for me this time. But here in Leo Capital, one of the many capitals on this side of the world, it's not always easy. But things are always changing. You never know what to expect. However, in order for me to explain things properly, I need to tell this story from the beginning. It all started at my home base of operation, which I like to call the bunker.
So, you're still alive?
That is my twin sister, Rebecca. When I became a splinter, she became part of a group of people who are even more sneaky. She became a lawyer. My lawyer, to be exact. Yes, I'm still alive, Rebecca, of course I am. I didn't explode, you know. We splinters don't just explode out of nowhere.
That doesn't guarantee anything. I have to solve one court case after the other, all because of you.
It can't be that much work, can it?
Last week you got sued for reckless driving.
Ooh, I drive a bit over the speed limit. So what? Everyone does that.
You ran over 3 people, alias.
I was on a mission, and I had to escape. And don't ask about specifics. That's splinter info, which is top secret. Besides, all the victims are still alive. And well, they're alive.
And the week before that, you started a fight with a cop, on duty.
That doesn't count.
Tell that to the judge. How doesn't that count?
It was self-defense.
You fired a spell that was so powerful that he got a concussion and 2 broken arms.
Alright, but you will think of something, 'cause you're smart and you always do.
At this rate, it will be the last time I help you, brother. Every time you get into trouble, I have to solve everything. And every time, I have to work in this whole...
It's a bunker, sister. And besides, you have internet.
We are 20 meters underground. At this rate, we will both die due to a vitamin D shortage.
Any other complaints? Don't forget that I am the one who helped you get those magical books and all those technological artifacts. Look, sister, I am very thankful that you're always there for me, but I don't have time. I have to finish this case with Cranston Lumberjack, or else I'm in real trouble. Okay, you know what? Let's make a deal. If I get out of this mission without getting the police knocking on my door, you will remain my lawyer. If I get into trouble, you can leave me and do whatever you want. Just this mission. I'm a splinter. I don't have a choice.
Alright, but if this ends up in court, you're on your own.
Hey, thank you, sis. You're the best. And, well, you know all of that.
Just make sure you'll be in time for your meeting with that Cranston guy.
Yes, ma'am. So, up. Status update on the upcoming meeting.
Good morning, Alias. There has been a change of plans. Cranston Lumberjack could not be present due to personal reasons.
Personal reasons? Sure, why not? What's gonna happen then?
He will send a message containing instructions for your task.
So I'm free until then.
Not exactly. He already sent the instructions earlier this morning.
Let's take a look then. Good morning, Mr. Crusher. My apologies for not being there. Blah blah blah, but the task you have to complete is simple. Travel to one of the energy pillars of the outside. Extract 2% of energy and put it in a container. Deliver that container to me within 48 hours and I will reward you handsomely. With regards, Cranston Lumberjack. Stealing energy from the outside. That's not what I would call a simple to complete task. I mean, it's also illegal, but that hasn't been a problem yet. That reward better be worth it.
Is there anything else I can help with, Alias?
No, it's alright, Up. Thank you. So yeah, I am a Splinter. We're basically an organization consisting of special agents. When I joined, I was introduced to a whole new perspective on the world. We Splinters are not really above the law, otherwise I wouldn't have those court cases, but more outside the law. The Splinters were formed around 200 years ago, but they became more open to the public after what people call the Great Forming. The single biggest event in recorded history, which happened around 25 years ago. It was when the people in charge finally finished making all the capitals and the outside, a concept given shape over the span of many decades, if not centuries. A group of scientists and wizards found a way to combine science and magic to help the world as well as power all of the capitals. The world is split up into several capitals, 13 main ones, with the biggest one being Bear Capital. The other 12 are named after the zodiac signs. There are of course other capitals named after other star constellations, but those are way smaller. However, every capital still has a leader, and once every 5 years all leaders come together to discuss all kinds of things. Now the outside is something else, literally. It's a magical world where the sky constantly changes color and where ruins of old or even ancient buildings and bits of land float around. It's also full of weird treasures and ancient artifacts. And here we are, the Splinter base of Leo Capital. The Splinter base of this capital is not that different to other bases. It has the typical but large income hall where there are a few desks with some Splinter administrators typing on the special computers. It is here that people can ask for a case that a Splinter then has to complete. The administrators check which Splinters are best suited for the case and then submit it to them. Or sometimes they just throw it into the main server. There is a catch though. When you specifically get a case, you cannot deny it. Splinters are only allowed to deny a total of 2% of their total cases per year. If they work really well, it becomes a generous 3%. So if you would have 100 cases a year, you can only deny 2. Which isn't a lot, and they are very strict. If you refuse to follow the Splinter rules, they will outright kill you. Once you complete that 2-year training, there is no way back. And when you retire, you have to keep everything a secret. The teleporter room is one of the most secured rooms in this capital. Not just anybody has access to teleporters that directly bring you to the outside. Only Splinters are allowed free access, since it's our job to go there and complete cases. A lot, but not all cases, are in the outside after all. Up, please put my line on silent. I don't have a good enough connection in the outside, so no phone calls. They're a distraction anyway.
I'm afraid there's an incoming call, Alias.
Really? Right now? Turn it off, I do not have the time.
The call in question is from Rebecca using your sibling line.
Sister? Why didn't you say so?
Alias, luckily you picked up. I thought you would have been in the outside, so that's why I used a special line through Up.
Well, I do not mind you calling, sister. Things are complicated, since I was just planning on teleporting and all that stuff.
Yeah, I figured. But I wanted to know how the meeting went, because there's something shady about this Cranston Lumberjack guy. I can't find anything about him. No legal files, no address, nothing. Not even Up could find something.
That's a little more alarming. Up was an AI built by the Splinters a few years ago. It's short for Ultra Powerful Updating Program, meant to be of service to all the Splinters and serve as a computer program that can hack, look up data, and much more. By bending the law, I could give Rebecca access to Up. She also made a special private line through him that only we can use. Most of the other Splinters don't treat Up too well. They treat him like he's some kind of servant. Becca and I see him as a friend. I mean, he helped us a lot. Why wouldn't he be treated as one? But if he can't find anything on my client, then that either means that my client is very good at covering his tracks, or there is something wrong. But then again, I can't deny a client if I don't wish to get shot. That's concerning, but I'm sure I'll be fine. There is nothing to worry about.
Just be careful, brother.
I will be.
Okay. I have to work on some other court cases, so I have to go. Notify me when you have completed your mission. Bye, Alias.
Wait, Rebecca.
Yes?
Thanks for helping and looking out for me. I appreciate it, really.
You're welcome, brother.
I have to go now. Love you.
Love you too. Be safe, brother.
Do you need some help with the files, Rebecca?
No thanks, Up. Just open file 7944, please. Thanks, I can handle the rest. Go watch Alias and make sure he doesn't die or something like that, cause I don't trust this case.
As you wish.
As I step on the teleporter, a bright beam of light appears, and my whole body begins getting lighter. The typical feeling of fuzziness that you could get whenever you use technological teleportation is something I may never get used to. I close my eyes and wait until I am teleported away. Ah, the outside. That's what we call this jumbled mess of magic and technology. In school they would always describe it as ancient, endless, and incomprehensible. The government tried to shape it during the Great Forming, or TGF for short. But the raw magic present in this place doesn't budge for the hands of mankind, is what the capital leaders said in interviews. So instead of forming it, we use it. The magic here is easily strong enough to power every single capital for what we humans can only describe as an eternity. I can feel the magic of this place buzz around me. A strong reminder that even 2% of energy could already do a lot of damage. However, the client demands, so I must deliver. It's not really the first time I have to get something from the outside. This place is usually for Splinters only, no common people allowed. We were trained for this in both combat and magic. One of my specialities is elemental magic. The name speaks for itself. People can usually learn 2 or 3 elements if they're lucky. Guess I was lucky this time. One of the elements I learned was ice. Here in the outside there is a lack of what you could call solid ground. The only ground you can stand on are the thousands of floating pieces of land that can be very small in size, or have the size of a small island. The only other thing you could stand on are the ruins of old buildings that have been tossed in here. One of the reasons I chose to learn the element of ice was to make it easier to cross the gaps. The second element I learned was fairy, a type of magical shield. It can also be used to neutralize some other forms of magic. There is a third element I learned, but I would rather not talk about that one right now. One last thing I learned was to use splinter magic to slightly transform myself. Splinter magic, as the name implies, can only be learned by splinters. My arms get engulfed in shadows. They grow longer while my fingers change into claws. Sadly, I can only achieve this form here, not in the normal world. Up. Could you look up the location of the pillar that is closest to my current position?
Of course, Alias. I'll run a scan of the surrounding area.
It is lovely to be in the outside like this. I might have some Mixed opinions on this place, but I still like to get here from time to time. Due to the fact that almost everything in this place is constantly on the move, we splinters don't even use a map, rather our instincts, or up. There are a few points that remain in place, so-called safe spots, but even so a GPS would be worthless here, which adds to the challenge of trying to find something in this place.
Alias, I've run a scan. The closest place should only be 400 meters from where you are right now. In just a few seconds you should see a large beam of light.
And indeed, a bright light enters my view, as the floating chunk of ground I am on floats closer to safer ground. I jump down and continue walking until it's right in front of me. One of the pillars. One of the many larger towers in the outside that take outside energy and send it to the normal world to power all of the capitals. An infinite power source. Nobody's gonna miss that 2%. I'm very lucky these things don't have security.
That is because you are not supposed to interact with them.
Well, now I have to. This case is important.
How are you planning on extracting the power?
I came prepared, you know. This battery is something I found in here. It can absorb a lot of energy, so it should suffice. Just a quick question. This won't create a disturbance, right?
According to my calculations, it should not. No. It will also not harm the power supply of the capitals.
Perfect. Let's do it then. Disturbances are best described as energy earthquakes. Earthquakes are impossible due to the way the capitals are built. Large structures surrounding all the land. However, when the government started experimenting with this place, they accidentally caused a literal disturbance. Hence the name. Sometimes energy from the outside leaks into the normal world and causes insane amounts of destruction. Buildings get destroyed, torn apart, or even tossed into the outside. As for the people, most of them perish in the energy blasts. If they are lucky, to put it like that, they get teleported to the outside, where they then get lost. Sometimes forever. We splinters have to go on rescue missions to save these people, but there isn't a lot of success. When a disturbance gets really bad, we call them outside shocks. To go against this, they put domes on top of the capitals to serve as roofs and protection. Not that it was able to protect us from TGF, but I digress. The energy from the outside seems to sometimes have a will of its own. Alright, that's over with. I must say I find it weird that no one tried this before. It's way too easy.
Because the punishment is death, and people usually don't have an illegal battery. And it would also be very noticeable if you were to hide this in your apartment.
Well, I will try not to die, plus my client gets the blame for all the legal trouble surrounding this case, and...
We both know that has not prevented you from getting into legal trouble outside of case desk, Alias.
I know, but the past few instances were accidents. The Splinter rules clearly state that with cases that break the law like this are all the clients their problem.
I'm aware of the rules, but I still advise you to be careful.
Thanks for your concern, Up. I will try my best.
It would also be risky to hide this battery inside your apartment.
I'll deliver it as fast as possible, so it doesn't have to stay in my apartment. And even so, I still have the bunker, just in case. It's one of the main reasons I bought that place, after all. Anyway, enough rambling. I need to find the nearest teleporter.
In order to get to the nearest teleporter, you need to walk 10 minutes north.
Got it. Okay, time to go back home. Set course for the Splinter base of Leo Capital. Why didn't I teleport?
It seems the teleporter is not working.
As in it's broken.
I cannot say. The source of the problem is unclear. I am also afraid that the energy in your pocket is starting to mess with my scanners. I will have to temporarily terminate the connection with your communicator in order to fix it.
Okay. Well... Aha! I know just the person that can solve this problem.
Welcome to the line of Anonymous Lee, where all your problems go away, if you pay. How can I be of service to you today? What do you think of that? Pretty neat, right? I came up with it myself.
I don't have time for this right now, Lee. I need your help.
Well, of course you need my help. Otherwise you wouldn't have called, now would you, Crusher?
My teleporter is broken. I need you to fix it.
I don't know. I have already helped you a bazillion times.
Hey, I have called you thrice.
Yeah, in the past 2 months. No, you're on your own this time.
Come on, I've paid you back every single time.
I don't think there's a lot you can offer me still. And something tells me you'll need your money more for the court cases in the aftermath of whatever you think you're doing right now.
I could offer you something else.
I think I'm gonna decline, Crusher. Like I said, you can't really offer me anything anymore. Besides, you should be able to figure something out since the outside is a splinter thing. And you were trained for this kind of scenario.
This is a little different, Lee, since I'm holding on to something important and...
Call time is up, Crusher. I advise you not to call me for a while.
But... Damn it! Fine, I'll figure something out then. There should be another teleporter somewhere around here. Okay, like the splinters taught you. Abandon all hope till mercy may return. There, a floating ruin of an old tower. If I can climb that thing, I could maybe get a good view of the area and find a teleporter that way. Almost there. No! Come on, no! I can't move or use my powers like this. And the pup is unavailable as well. Quite a predicament. This case is everything but simple. All I can do now is pray to the stars and abandon all hope, till mercy may return. We thank you for listening to this episode, listener. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can follow us on our socials, which will all be linked down below. You can follow us on Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Spotify. You can also look at our website, which will also be linked below. Don't hesitate to share this episode with all of your friends and family. Now for the cast of this episode. Alias Crusher was voiced by Torben Daans. Rebecca Crusher was voiced by Luna Ramos Ibonet. Up by Wietse Kerkhoffs, and Anonymous Lee by Annelien Martens. The Project Crusher podcast is written and created by Torben Daans and co-created by Annelien Martens. All art you see in this episode was created by Annelien Martens, and the soundtrack you heard was composed by Wietse Kerkhoffs. We hope we will see you in the next episode, listener. We of Team Crusher wish you a nice day.